Hello everybody, this is your space and time traveling Gallifreyan time dragon Murphy Slaugh coming to you live, or close to it. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video and I do apologize. I'm trying to do better, but we shall see. To all of those who have decided to join as new subscribers to my channel, thank you. I shall try to get some more videos out there on a regular basis. Today I thought I'd like to start off by reviewing a movie. If you want a movie with big stars, with lots of wonderful special effects, with great dialogue, this is not the movie for you. This is, in fact, the old cult classic, 1959, Plan 9 from Outer Space, directed, produced, and written by Ed Wood, the best of the worst. And this movie certainly follows in that track. This has corny dialogue, it has special effects which really aren't, it has a star which really is and isn't there depending on how you look at it. It's just got everything that you would never want to see in a regular movie, but this was not a movie made for the big show, but just to have something out there, I guess. It is Ed Wood, so he is notorious for putting out bad movies, and this is no exception. Now, the plot, and I use the term loosely, of this movie is that this is showing supposedly future events from 1959 now. So, in the future, aliens will have been observing Earth and have come to the realization that our scientists are on the verge of discovering solarbenite, a substance that is capable of exploding particles of sunlight, that with our penchant for creating stuff that goes boom, that eventually our carelessness will cause this thing to actually explode, which will follow the sunlight up to the sun, and from there it will spread to every planet the sun touches, like there's really all that many, but somehow every planet the sun touches, which will eventually lead to the destruction of the universe. Now, they've wanted to try to warn us about this, but our government has refused to even acknowledge their existence. So they've had to be creative, I use so to speak, and go with Plan 9. They never show what plans 1 through 8 are, but still, go with Plan 9, which is to send a signal, a energy beam of some sort, into the pituitary gland of cadavers of people who have died, reviving them and making them into ghouls. Though, when I say ghouls, don't think of like D&D ghouls. These are more like zombies. And when I say zombies, do not think of George Romero. These, again, this is Ed Wood, so these are just people who have died and come back and are mindlessly going about, walking around and killing other people, though somewhat under the control of those who control the beam. And this film is with 3 of the zombies that the aliens are experimenting with before going to try more that it will take up to the Capitol to hopefully get America to wake up and to realize that yes, there are aliens, and yes, they are trying to help out. It's kind of a convoluted plot, but that's what it is. Now, this movie, the credits show that it features Bela Lugosi, the actor who portrayed the original Dracula. This is kind of misleading. He was never really in the film per se. He had actually died before the film was produced. What had happened was that Ed Wood took some scenes from a film that was done earlier but never produced that had Bela Lugosi in it and spliced them into his film. You can kind of tell that the scenes that have Bela in it do not match the quality and the look of the rest of the film. And when they had to have the character that kind of Bella's was supposed to portray up close, they simply had another actor as a stand-in who, from what you can see, and I'll explain later, you can tell is not really Bella. But anyway, in this film there are only 3 zombies. Sorry, I figured I have paused beforehand. 3 zombies. The first one is female, and she is just billed as Vampira. And yes, she looks more vampire, and I use the term loosely, than ghoul or zombie. She is tall and thin. She has skin that is pale white, long black hair, straight, wears a dress that is black, and she has very long fingernails, like out to here. She does not make a sound. She does not say anything. She simply either stands behind a tree or walks around very slowly with her hands outstretched like this. And that's supposed to be scary and, you know, be frightening and whatnot. It really isn't. She looks kind of like, well, her real name is Mila Nurmi? No, I've never heard of her either, but she kind of looks like a cross between Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and Morticia Adams, kind of that type. Anyway, she's the first zombie. The second one is her husband, the character that was to be, or will be portrayed by Bela Lugosi. Again, he wasn't actually in the film, it was just some scenes that were put in there. And evidently after the funeral, in the old man, and that's the only name that's given, in the old man's grief after losing his wife, he absentmindedly, off camera, you can hear sound effects such as they were, but he evidently steps in front of a car and gets killed. Then the aliens revive him. And then he walks around scaring people, even though there's less of him than there is of his wife. Because the stand-in with Bella, with the scenes that Bella was in from another movie, having him wear a long black cape, kind of like stereotypical Dracula, you would think, like the old type, they had a stand-in do the same thing, just wear a long black cape. Then he would have his hand or his arm in front of his face, like so, and walk around like this. And his eyes and his forehead is the only part that you could see of his skin. And you can kind of tell that the stand-in is not Bella, which you could kind of tell anyway because Bella was dead, but kind of tell that there was a big difference because the stand-in is taller and thinner and does not look as old. And like the first zombie, does not speak, does not make a sound, just walks around like this. And evidently he's impervious to bullets because he's a zombie and he kills other people, including a police chief who ends up being the third zombie. The police chief is a rather tall and, for lack of a better way, putting it, a portly fellow who decides to go out into the cemetery where all these deaths have occurred, like the 2 grave diggers before from the first zombie, by himself. Even though there are other policemen around, he decides to go by himself to investigate. Then the woman and the old man both converge and attack him and evidently kill him, again off screen. The policemen come by, oh no, he's dead, they bury him, and the aliens revive him as well. And he just stands around with his mouth in a big grimace and his eyes wide open. No moans, no groans, just walks around. And those are the zombies that are shown. This thing is filled with so many things that you can pull apart and laugh at. That it's like, really? They did that? Why did they do that? That's ridiculous. Good example. Now, these are aliens that, as they've announced to the Earth, are from a planet in your galaxy. Now, I ask you, if they're in a planet in the same galaxy, why would it suddenly be our galaxy and not theirs as well? But anyway, they're from another planet somewhere out there in our galaxy. They are, evidently they have interstellar travel, so they are much more advanced than we are. The ruler of the aliens, and these aliens are simply humanoid with fancy, futuristic-looking clothing, like shiny and silver and whatnot. But the ruler of these aliens, who's a pretentious elderly guy, how is he dressed? He has a shirt with a shield on it, and inside the shield is the symbol of a halberd. For those of you who are unfamiliar, a halberd is a medieval English weapon that's sort of a combination spear and axe. It has the spear at the top and then an axe head. And it has a symbol on the guy's chest, on the shirt. And it's like, wait a minute, an alien from another planet is going to have a symbol of a medieval English weapon on it? Really? They could not find anything in the wardrobe that would be a little more futuristic, space, something. But again, Ed Wood, they were evidently filming on a budget or something. The script is so laughable that some of these lines, like, why would they say that? The science to be used is really non-existent, even for 1959, which, yes, it was before the moon landing, but still, I mean, a beam shot into the pituitary gland is going to cause these people to be revived. And just the fact that a lot of the special effects, oh yes, speaking of which, the spaceships, and I use the term loosely. When I say spaceships, do not think Star Trek, Babylon 5, Star Wars, anything like that. These have got to be the most stereotypical flying saucers that you could ever see. They were just like two saucers put together, sprayed paint, with a little silver and a little dome at top. And when they flew, did they fly across the screen as if to show they are from a much more advanced society? No. These things go and wobble about as if either if you're within the movie, that the pilot of the aircraft, or as far as the movie itself, that the operator who was holding the strings of this thing was not sure what they were doing. Because, these things just sort of wobble all over the place. It's like, really? This movie is good if you want a lot of laughs and just a lot of face-pawing, groaning, a lot of, why? Why would you do that? Really? What sense does that make? It's good because, again, it is the best of the worst. I would really recommend it to those who might want to spend a few minutes just to peruse a ridiculous film. It is pretty funny, and it is, again, has its own cult following, but it is a good movie to watch if you want a few minutes to spare. And that's it for now. I will try to think of something else unless y'all have any suggestions as to what I can do, whether movies or games or other topics I can choose. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like my film and let others know about me if you wish. It's up to you. Until later, this is Murphy Slaugh, Gallifreyan Time Dragon, signing off. I hope y'all have a good day.